I thought the title of the speech should be Impromptu Speech, the Spice of Life. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests, the reason I said that is because when you get called upon to do an impromptu speech, you have zero time to practice. What you have to go to is something that you feel passionate about. So I feel passionate about many things, but today I wanted to talk about something relevant to this group. So it's Toastmasters and attitude. Both of those to me are linked together. Some people say, why do you still go to Toastmasters after 28 years of being in the club? I go because I get something from all my Toastmaster experiences. And the first time I walked into Toastmasters, I went with a specific purpose. I was an accountant, and I wanted to become a marketing director for one of the largest home builders in town. I had set that as a goal, so 1 year before I knew the marketing director, which had been with the company for 25 years, was going to retire, I knew that I needed to develop great public speaking skills because my job as marketing director would require me to speak to very large groups, including weekly sales meetings. So someone said, go to Toastmasters. It was Earl Nightingale, Dennis Waitley, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, Harvey McKay, all great speakers said, go to Toastmasters. So I thought, what the heck, I'm going to go to Toastmasters, and I'm thinking it's going to be a bunch of old guys sitting around with bolo ties saying, yeah, back in the good old days, this is what we used to do. That was my perception. It could not have been more different. I walk into the room, there's a fellow opening up the meeting, he's obviously the Sergeant-at-Arms, which I know now, I had no idea what he was then. And back then at Dobson Ranch, the Sergeant-at-Arms would do a warm-up. He wouldn't just say good morning, he would do a warm-up. So here I am sitting there, you know, just wondering what's going to go on. And he comes out and he goes, to be enthusiastic, you act enthusiastic. To be enthusiastic, you act enthusiastic. He got everybody stand up. Stand up. After me. To be enthusiastic, you act enthusiastic. To be enthusiastic, you act enthusiastic. Sit down. And I thought, I'm going to love this place. This is my kind of place. And so what I started to learn was you actually can determine your attitude anytime you want. And Toastmasters wasn't that unusual for me because I had been going to many weekend trainings for years, but I had not gone to something where I would go every single week. It used to be I would sign up for a Zig Ziglar course. It would be 3 days, and that was once a year. I might go to a Tony Robbins seminar, being in the home building industry. But here I was at Toastmasters getting a weekly dose from these guys who appeared not to have any inhibitions at all. And I thought, wow, how does this guy, his name is Bob Turner, still a friend of mine today, how does he get up there and do that? So I decided I wanted to get that skill. And so I was going to use Toastmasters as a means to develop a skill that I thought I had the capabilities of doing, but because of societal things, you know, oh, don't act too over-enthusiastic or calm down, or what most people fear is the fear of seeming childish, or the fear of maybe not being in control. Well, Toastmasters provided me kind of a gym, and some of you have maybe heard me use this metaphor. And I'll give you a perfect example. There's a good friend of mine, Tudor knows him, his name is David Vaughn. David is about 2 inches taller than me, weighs about 80 pounds more than me, and every time we hang out, he asks me about the gym and fitness, and I give him whatever information I can. So finally one day he's telling me how he's eating well, and I said, David, I've known you for a long time. 8 years now? And he says, yeah. I said, you look exactly the same today as you did 8 years ago, and you've been going to the gym. So what do you do when you go to the gym? He goes, oh, I lift weights and everything. I said to him, do you like to ride the bike? He goes, yes, I ride the bike. I said, when you ride the bike, Is the bike soaking wet? Is there a puddle of sweat on the floor? Do you have to spend 5 minutes wiping it down? And you might have thought that I was speaking Mandarin when I said that. You looked at me like, what? I said, that's the kind of energy you have to put into it if you want to get something out of it. That's the gym. Toastmasters is no different. When you go to Toastmasters, you leave your old self at the door. You walk in, you turn the switch, and you make it your goal to become whatever it is that you want to become. If you want to become a great evaluator, if in your business you have to give feedback to people, you're a manager, you can practice doing great evaluations. If you want to develop your listening skills, Toastmasters is a great place. You ring the button every time somebody has an or an You write down every single grammatical error there is. You tune in your ears at a very high level. That's how you become great at whatever it is that you want to do. Too often, people come into Toastmasters and they bring that same person, shrinking violet, get into the corner, don't do anything, and then they wonder, well, Toastmasters didn't do much for me. We will get out of every experience in direct proportion to what we put in it. I'm going to go to Toastmasters until I can't go anymore, until I'm not on this side of the ground, because Toastmasters continues to provide energy, enthusiasm, in spite of the fact that I might join a club that doesn't have that high level of energy, enthusiasm. My goal is ratchet it up for everybody. Take advantage of this fantastic opportunity that you have every single week to stretch, because when you stretch, you will really grow. Mr. Toastmaster.